friends, this is Vicki with Grandma Vicki Crafts, and today I'm going to use this witch form and we're going to make a candy corn wreath or a door hanger for our door for Halloween. So I've got the Dollar Tree witch hat form. I did purchase it last year. I haven't seen these out in our store quite yet, and then I did just get the colored, the orange and the yellow and the white mesh from the Dollar Tree. They did have that in already. And then I'm also going to use chenille stems, but you could use zip ties if you had or would rather. So I'm going to take all of this off, and then I'm going to take my little wire cutters and I'm going to cut all these little nubs off to make that just a little bit smoother. So I'm just going to get right down in there and snip all these off along the outside on both sides all the way around after I get all of this tinsel off. Now you could save the tinsel if you like. I personally am not going to, but if you have or think of another project that you might like to use that for, then you could always save that for that. So I'll go and I'll take all of this off and then I'll be back. So I now have all the garland off and I've got all the little nubs cut off with my little wire cutters. So now I'm going to start with my white mesh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mesh and I'm going to fold it in half, just like so. And I'm going to start at the top of my witch hat with the folded side up to the top, and I'm going to go around the top. And I'm going to connect this with a pipe cleaner. So I'm just going to go right through all of this mesh with my pipe cleaner, and I'm just going to give that a twist. And then that's not going to go anywhere. And then I'll cut those tails off with my little wire cutters here. And we'll push it to the back. So now we're just going to keep going around. And we're going to go around several times to cover up the black so that we don't see any of this black. So we'll go around a few times here, keeping our mesh folded in half and pulling rather snugly. And we just keep going around and around. And it's easier just to turn your hat. Just keep pulling it snug and turning your hat form. We'll just keep going around. And around. And I'm going to keep going around until I come down to about here. And now if you thought that maybe you could see the black too much, you could always paint it, spray paint it white if you'd like to. But I think that I've got it wrapped pretty good here, that we really don't see too clearly the black, at least not from where I'm looking here. So now what I'm going to do is, I've got it where I want it there. Okay, so what I ended up doing here was, instead of using the chenille stem, I opted to use a zip tie, just because it's got a little pointy end and it would go through the mesh a lot easier. So I zip tied that to the back of my frame, and now I'm going to cut this off. I'll leave a little tail so I can tuck it. I'll just fold it all up and I'll just tuck that tail in under so we won't see it. Then when we add our orange mesh, okay, so now I'm going to take my wire cutters and I'm going to cut my zip tie off right there, and I'm going to turn that to the back. Okay, so there's what we have so far. So now I'm going to get my orange mesh and we're going to do the very same thing. Again, we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to start where we left off. Okay, so here we are with our orange mesh. Now, we're starting at the back, and I'm going to put that to the back, and I'm going to bring it around. It's folded in half again, and I'm going to bring that around, and I'm going to use another zip tie. So I'm going to put my zip tie in through the white and the orange to catch it all. And I'm going to bring that around and I'm going to zip tie it together. Just like so. So there we have it. And now I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to cut that long tail off, and I'm going to turn that zip tie back to the back. So once again, I'm going to carry on and wrap the orange around, keeping it folded. And now the Dollar Tree mesh is really quite thin, so you'll want to maybe give it a few more wraps around. And want to keep it folded in half as best as you can. Just makes it neater. And we're going to go around and around like so. All the way around until I get down to about here on this one. And this is going to look pretty cute. Our little candy corn door hanger. So I'll carry on and I'll get to my next part down here and then I'll be back. So there we have the orange, and once again I'm going to use my zip tie and I'm going to go through the orange through the back towards the front, and then pull your zip tie closed. Cut off your tail with your wire cutters. Then leave yourself a little tail so that you can just tuck that up inside so you don't see the tail. So there's that. So now we're going to start with our yellow. And we're going to do the very same thing. So here we have our yellow now, and I've got it laying on the back. Oops, gotta have the closed side to the top. So once again, we're gonna fold it in half just so it's thicker. I'm gonna take my zip tie and I'm going to go through the back of the yellow, through the gold, and I'm gonna bring that around to the front. Just like so. And I'm going to zip tie that together. And once again, cut your long zip tie tail off, flip that to the back, keep your yellow folded, and just start going around with your yellow. Pulling it snugly and keeping it folded nicely in half, just like this, and just go around and around until you get to this bottom part of the hat form, just down to here. So I'll keep going on and I'll be back. So once again, we've got that completed. I'm now going to take another zip tie and I'm going to put it through the back at the bottom, through to the front, and I'm going to zip that closed. Just like so, nice and tight, and that's not going to go anywhere. I'll cut my tail off again. I'll leave myself a little bit of a length here to tuck in under. And there we have that much done on our candy cane. Now, isn't that looking cute? So now what we're going to do for the bottom part is we're going to make ruffles. So I'll come back to show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so now to make our ruffles, I'm going to make them 12 inches long. So I'm going to use my ruler and my deco mesh. And what I'm going to do, just to make this simple, is I'm going to go up and around the ruler, over and over until you come to the end of your roll of mesh. Now I'm just using up what was left of these rolls that I had used on our wreath form. So then I'll get into a new roll. But just to show you how I did that, and I'll do the next one the same. So there we have our mesh, and I'm just going to take my scissors and go in and cut. I'll take my ruler out and I'll just go in and I'll cut this as well. So there we have our pieces of mesh that are 12 inches long. So now what I'm going to do, because the Dollar Tree mesh is not the best mesh, I'm going to take and I'm going to fold the two ends into the center. And then I'm going to make my little ruffles. I'm going to go and make little bow ties like so. Now I've made one that's orange and white, so now I'll make one that's yellow and orange. So once again, I'm going to take my length, my 12 inches, I'm going to fold the one end up to the middle, I'm going to fold the other end into the middle, and then I'm going to take my fingers and scrunch up the center to make a ruffle. Then I'm going to put the two pieces together in a crisscross. I'm going to take my chenille stem, and then I'm going to put it into the center. I'm going to push them up together and give it a good twist. So then we'll have our little bundles. So that's two different colors. I've got the white and the orange and the yellow. So now I'll do a white and a yellow. So once again, I'll take it and I'll put it, fold it to the center, and I'll fold this one down to the center to match. Then I'm going to walk it up my fingers like so until you have what looks like a little bow tie. Then I'll take a strip of the yellow and I'll do the very same thing. This mesh likes to stick to itself. So to the center and to the center, and then we're going to walk our fingers up, scrunching it up as we go and putting it on, crisscross it on. Then take a chenille stem, put that over, pull it together and pull them up together like so, and give it a good tight twist several times. Until we have our little bundle. So now that's what we want to do. So we've got white and yellow, we've got orange and white, we've got yellow and orange, and we just want to make bundles of all the colors in the varieties that we can do. So then, once we get some bundles made, then we're going to take our wreath and right here, I'll take an orange and a white one, right here at the very top where this little curve is, I'm going to put my first bundle on, just like so. It'll look like that, and I'll pull it through to the back, just like so. and I'm on that top, very top rung right there. And I'm going to give that a few twists around and around, and I'm going to leave my tails there for now. So what we're going to work on is I'm going to put another one right beside it on this top rung. So you'll see that we've got 1, 2, and 3 pieces of plastic there. I'm only going to work on this top one and around to the, and then onto the middle one. I'm not putting anything on this bottom piece right here. And you'll see as we go along. So now I'll take a white and a yellow one, and I'll put it next to my white and my orange one, again on the top, and I'm going to pull it through to the back, and we're going to twist that on, and we're only going to put 2 bunches in that one little part, just like right here. We'll do the very same when we get around to this corner. We'll put 2 bundles just in that little section. Then we'll put 2 bundles in this next little section. Then we'll come and we'll put 2 bundles in this little section. And then we'll work on this section where we'll put 3, 3, 3, 3 again, and then 2 again, and 2 again, with our last final 2 again. So we'll carry on with our bundles, and I'll show you as we go along. So now I'm going to cut some more of our orange mesh, and I'm going to use my ruler again, and this just makes the process a little faster. You can cut it with your rotary cutter if you wish, but this works as well. Or you could use a 12-inch piece of cardboard or something else if you wanted to. But I'm just going to do this, going around just a few times, because I'm not just for sure how many strips I'm going to need. So I'll just do a few. And then I'll cut that off with my scissors at the bottom. And then I'll take my scissors and I'll just cut along the top where the ruler is, and then the same along this end where the ruler is. So then we have our pieces of mesh cut at 12 inches. So we can carry on and make some more ruffles. So what I had done here, I thought that I would work at both ends so that I did the same thing on both sides. So I had 2, and then I had another 2 in here, and the same on this side. I had 2 on that curve, and then 2 more next to that. So now I'm going to come down into this, hard to see, but right here, into this one with 2 more. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, so once again, I've got my strip of mesh, and I'm going to fold it, the bottom half to the center, bring the top half down to the center, and then I'm going to walk my fingers up, scrunching it as I go. Then I'm going to take my white and I'm going to do the same, bringing the bottom up to the center and the top down to the center, and I'm going to walk my fingers up, scrunching it to the top. So then I'm going to put one crisscrossed on top of the other. I'm going to take chenille stem and I'm going to go around and I'm going to gather them up into a bundle and twist the back like so. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to see where I left off here. I had the white and the yellow on this side. So I'm going to go back and do a white and a yellow just right here, right there. So I'm going to twist that around. On that top rung, and then we're going to have the top part all done. We're going to now start working on this inside piece and all in along that middle. So here it is, our candy corn wreath, and it's all complete. So now I used 2 rolls of the white deco mesh, 2 of the orange, and 2 of the yellow. I used just a few chenille stems, and I actually cut them in half because you didn't need the whole stem. Then for the top, I also added a little strip of this mesh tubing, also from the Dollar Tree. I just thought that that added a little something more onto the top. And other than that, that's it. And the little hanger on the back is a zip tie. So everything is from the Dollar Tree. So this is a very affordable cute little wreath that you could make for your door or your wall for around Halloween time. So if this is something that you would like to try, I hope you will. And please like by giving me a big thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and always remember to be kind. Bye now.